What's up everybody, it's your Papa Yam back here with the Honda Hornet 750, wrapping up my comprehensive thoughts on this machine. You guys know how we do it, it's the last day of the giveaway and I like to have all my thoughts wrapped up and really understand this motorcycle a little bit better after putting on the total mileage. And it is the day after Christmas and your Papa Yam does have one final present for you this year because it's the last day you can get entered to win this machine. I don't want you to miss your chance. So go to the website right now, you can lock in your chances by buying a piece of merch or becoming a member. We have a bunch of cool new designs. I'd love for you to go and check it out. Don't miss your chance to win this bike. The next bike we're doing after this one is actually a Moto Guzzi V7 Sport. We're mixing it up a little bit for 2026. Gonna do something fun, retro, and classic. And then after that, spoiler alert, it's all spicy Italian V4 goodness. It is gonna be a very fun year. So get your chances locked and loaded to become a member. That's the best way to do it. Let's wrap up our thoughts on this bike. So famously, I rated this motorcycle a 10 out of 10 when I first did my ride and review, and has my opinion changed? Really not a whole lot. This bike is still fantastic. I actually read this description online. Somebody said this is the best version of vanilla that you can go and buy. And I kind of like that because this bike really doesn't do anything wrong. It fits the design brief nearly perfectly. There's a lot I really like about this bike. The first is the price. I mean, you're getting this thing for $1 under 8,000 bucks MSRP, and you're getting so much motorcycle for the money. You know, a rider with a little bit of common sense and a little bit of matter between the ears, let's say, can jump on this motorcycle and have a great time. It's a bike you can commute with, you can even do some light duty touring with, and I just really appreciate motorcycles that are very flexible in that way. It reminds me of a better executed, more flexible version of the GSX-8R that we tested in 2024. I said the same sort of things about that nice yellow Suzuki. It's a bike that can do a little bit of everything, but the Honda's engine really is the star of the show. It's just such a nice motor. Every time I jump on this bike, I think, wow, $8,000? Really? This feels European, it feels spicy, it feels exotic, and just feels fun to ride. At the end of the day, this is a bike that's just simply fun. A couple things I've noticed in putting more mileage on this motorcycle is the geometry of it is a bit squat. It's not really an issue. I actually think it's good for entry-level riders that it's a little bit lower, but the tail section of the bike, it feels like you really sit into it, and I started noticing that a little bit more after riding it, maybe the third or fourth time after the first ride and review. So it's something that you're just gonna have to notice a little bit, that you kind of sit in this bike. If you jump on a proper super sport or even a more aggressive naked motorcycle, you'll notice the rear is a little bit more pitched up and higher. So this bike is definitely aiming for that more beginner and entry level category with its overall ergonomics, which is not a bad thing. It means that you can commute with it and it's super low key and it's so comfortable and easy to ride for longer stints. One thing that I probably would do on this motorcycle if it were mine for a long period of time would be to actually swap out a different set of bars. This is something that I just noticed with almost every motorcycle that's sold new, is that they're just not quite long enough for my liking. I like motorcycles with bars that are really nice and wide, especially for a naked bike. You get a lot of leverage, tip the bike in quicker, just gives you a little bit more of that fun factor. Old school Japanese motorcycles of this variety, I actually think of the 919 Hornet, had really small, narrow little chrome bars. It's almost kind of cute and antiquated nowadays, but that would be something I would do to this machine too, is just get a little bit wider bars. It would be kind of a pain in the butt to install. You got to pull off all the controls, put the new bar on and all that, but I do think it would be worth it if you want this motorcycle for the long term. But the stock setup is more than good enough. And that's kind of the recurring theme with this bike, is that everything is more than good enough. You would jump on this thing and expect, oh, okay, maybe the quick shifter isn't gonna, downshift really great because it's an entry-level bike. Nope, it works more than good enough. You would think, oh, the engine's gonna be some lackluster parallel twin because it's meeting a price point. Nope, it's more than good enough. I was really surprised when I even took this thing out on track, which is something I haven't seen any other reviewer really do, and this thing was hanging and having fun with a bunch of motorcycles on track. I think if you put on a sticky set of rubber and flashed and put an exhaust on it, it would be really good on track, which is incredible for a bike at this price. And it just really makes me want Honda to build a fully fared version of this bike to compete with the R7, with the RS660, because honestly, I think it would totally eat their lunch. I know that Yamaha just updated the R7, has the new IMU, the 6-axis thing, the quick shifter, blah, 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 updated plastics. The chassis is not as good as this motorcycle. It's not as well set up. This thing, if it had full plastics, was just a little bit more aggressive, it would just annihilate the R7. And then it would annihilate the R660 too, because it would be so much cheaper, more reliable, and more robust too. So Honda, if anybody there is listening, if it's in your plans for a global domination, release a Twins Cup bike on this chassis. Please do us all a favor. That would be really sweet. I've become such an evangelist for this 755cc parallel twin that I've been even thinking like Honda should just remove all of their other parallel twins, just shrink this one down, make a new Rebel, make a new CBR 500, just whatever they've done to this, just put it in everything. This engine is awesome and should be everything that Honda is working towards, which I don't even have to say that because they're working on a crazy 3-cylinder V3 turbo bike that we covered here as well. So we're all waiting with bated breath to see if that comes to the light of day. You guys already know I'll put a deposit down on that and buy it instantly. But yeah, I know it can kind of seem like a total glaze fest on this bike, but there really is nothing it does wrong. Like if you buy one of these, you will not be disappointed. I cannot think of a reason somebody who's in the market for a bike like this would go and check it out and think, either no, I don't want it, or I buy it and then I'm disappointed or I regret it in any kind of way. It's super usable, super reliable, super well built. I mean, it's got good fuel economy, it's got a good amount of range. I don't know what else you would really want in a street motorcycle. This is kind of like the perfected formula. Some people online say they don't like the insect wasp look or whatever, but come on, do you really want Honda to go back to like their super boring styling they had on everything? I think it's cool that they actually did something a little more angular and daring on this motorcycle. Let Honda have some fun. Come on, Honda's got to put its hair down a little bit. I think we're gonna get these in red and yellow in the next coming years too. So yeah, if I was gonna get one of these bikes, I would certainly get it in some sort of color. I think white is a little bit boring. If you can find one, I think they're gonna make one in yellow. That would be awesome. You guys know me, I love yellow bikes, they're super cool. Get a slip-on exhaust or merely pull out the DB killer from the rear, paint the end cap a black, resistant to heat from, you know, a little spray can kind of thing. And then it sounds great, get it flashed, it makes like 90 something horsepower. I think you're sorted. I think that's about all I would ever do to this motorcycle, and I would have a ton of fun with it as well. In looking at this bike, I can imagine even putting on a really simple little tail bag or some side bags or something. I mean, this could really be someone's everyday usable commuter. It's gonna turn and churn miles. You guys know producer Logan has a Transalp, which features the same engine. It's been running like a top. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's really unbelievable how nice, simple, and straightforward these motorcycles are nowadays. One small thing I literally just noticed right now too is you get a radiator guard on this motorcycle too. That's often a part you have to pay extra for to protect rock chips from hitting your radiator. I mean, this bike is so good. If you do end up getting this motorcycle, one thing you'll notice pretty quickly by the next time you have to change tires or you're just taking a closer look at this bike is the rear is actually a 160 section rear tire. That's a little bit smaller than what you see on the MT-07 or the Tuono 660, which I kind of think are this bike's main competitors. And the reason they did that is actually because the motorcycle is a little bit longer than those bikes. So by making the rear tires aspect ratio a little bit lighter, a little bit narrower, you actually get a bike that can tip corners a little bit quicker. So it's kind of an illusion of, you know, traditional geometry and handling where you'd want the bike to be a little bit shorter, a little bit steeper. This bike actually plays a cool party trick in that it's very nice mid-corner because it's a little longer, but because of that 160, it carves in a little bit faster. And there's plenty of really good tire options in a 160 size, so don't feel like you're gonna be compromised by this bike. And I highly recommend do not plus size to a 170 or 180 out back just because you want that big, meaty rear tire profile for Instagram or whatever. Just keep the 160, get a higher spec tire, a little bit more grip, maybe a little bit more wet weather conditions, whatever you wanna do with the tire, and then it's gonna be great for you. Another thing I really appreciate on this bike, and I'm just maybe, you know, kind of Yamaha pilled, and I get very easily impressed by this sort of thing, is that it comes standard with LED turn indicators. This is something that was kind of a contentious issue on Yamaha motorcycles for a long time here in the States. They had those crazy little pumpkin incandescent light things until like 2021 or something like that. So it's nice that the lighting setup on this motorcycle already looks good. It's one of the few bikes where I think, you know, yeah, it could benefit from a tail tidy, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary to get a tail tidy on this machine. I think in stock trim, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty straightforward. It wouldn't be something that needs massive, you know, aesthetic modifications in my opinion. And really it's a naked bike, so there's not a whole lot you need to change on it. You know, we've discussed this on the channel where Honda's new V3R is representing their like return to form and they're taking risks and all that. But honestly, I think this bike represents Honda at its best and doing what it does best, because this is a really exciting, fun motorcycle built to a really high standard, yet it's affordable and approachable. And that really, to me, cements where Honda is going. And we are so excited to see that here on the channel. We did say on the initial review, welcome back Honda, and we really do mean it. We really hope we see more stuff like this. Because, you know, it's one thing to make V3Rs and Fireblades and crazy gold wings that, you know, honestly, they're pretty expensive and most people aren't gonna buy toys like that. But it's another thing to imbue that same kind of DNA and fun factor and great engineering in something that nearly anybody could go buy and enjoy. So I guess I gotta go collect my paycheck from Big Red, because I still think this bike is a 10 out of 10. I still think this is one of the best executed street bikes I've ever had the pleasure of trying. And I really hope Honda keeps making stuff like this because it is just fantastic. Again, never doubt Big Red. When they wanna build amazing products, they can. I think they just kind of lost their way and got a little conservative there, I guess, for the last 15 years or so. But yeah, if this is what they're making, we're super excited. But I can't keep this bike. It is a giveaway motorcycle on yammynoob.co. Today is the last day you have to get entered to it. So if you want yourself a 10 out of 10 street bike, your chance to win is running out. Head over to the site. Today's the last day. Thanks so much for checking out today's video. We appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.